Warning, F-bombs are armed and might be dropped, but probably not today. Because today we're doing something a little different. I heard a comment that a couple days ago that compared revolvers and semi-autos in a way that just doesn't make any sense. So, I'm going to go over some of the basics real quick. First of all, safety first, foremost, always. Snap cap. My Glock. Believe it or not, this is safe. That's actually a technique, part of a technique for clearing a jammed gun. All right. This is a semi-auto. By one means or another, usually by direct blowback, which means force of the gun firing causes it to happen. The upper receiver slide will go backwards. Round will eject. Spring inside will cause forward receiver to move back forward, chambering a fresh round. Gun is ready to go back and be fired. Revolvers work a little bit differently. Don't ever point a gun at yourself in real life unless you loaded it with snap caps. But as you can see, there's this, it's called the cylinder, this cylinder-shaped object that will spin. So, cylinder is held in place by one of 3 methods that I can think of. Every time the hammer comes back, cylinder will rotate 1 point around, and then it is ready to fire. Now, there's 3 types of revolvers. There's only 2 types, well, 3 types, I guess, of semi-autos. All semi-autos are at some level single action. Not all revolvers are single action. This is actually my dad's Colt Navy pattern, 1860, 1861, I can't remember. Remember that term, single action? Watch. I am squeezing the trigger and the hammer is doing nothing because it is a single action. You have to crank the hammer back manually. I've heard it referred to as a claw. I don't know too much about revolvers, I'm not going to lie. As a claw or as a thumb grip. Has to be pulled back, and then the gun is ready to fire. A double action firearm, hammer does not have to be cranked back. 99% of all modern revolvers are either double action or double action only, which brings me back to my gun. Notice there's not even a hammer on this one. It's because it's a striker fire, which I don't understand what that means, but I know it means it doesn't have a hammer. Every time the gun cycles, the pin is held back somehow, and the triggers move forward, and then you squeeze it, and the gun will go bang, obviously, if you put real bolts in. As opposed to anything either single or dual, SDL, SDA, single double action, like my landlord's revolver here. Thank you, Mike, by the way, where you can do it either way. Now, my old gun, the Smith & Wesson 4006, was a semi-auto that was SDA, single double action. You could crank the hammer back, you didn't have to. Like with my landlord's gun. It was not a single action only, like my dad's gun, nor was it dual action only, like my current one. Huge difference between the two. There's a reason why no army or police force in the world that I'm aware of, except for a few Asian police departments, carry revolvers anymore. To reload a revolver, there's usually some sort of catch mechanism, and it's usually on the left side because that's where your thumb will be, that you manipulate. Cylinder will fold out, and then you eject spent shell casings, and then you got to put them in one at a time for most revolvers, which, as you can see, I'm already fumbling. Try doing that in combat. Semi-autos, you eject the spent shell casing, eject the spent mag clip, insert the fresh clip, and if it's got a lockback mechanism, release the slide. Upper receiver. These two are fundamentally completely different. The way they work is absolutely different. This, because it is a dual action, yes, you can squeeze the trigger and it will go bang until it runs out of bullets, but it's not self-loading in any way, shape, or form. It's not even self-unloading. You've got to manually open it. This is self-loading, and semi-autos tend to carry more ammo. Now, there's a few exceptions to the rule. My landlord owns this 6-shooter revolver. There are 6-round semi-autos out there. I used to have one. Little 25. It was my mother's before she passed away, so don't give me any shit. Generally speaking, no. Those are extremely rare to find. Trying to say that they're the same is really, really a mistake. And this is one of those same mistakes that I used to make back in my anti-gun days when I thought that revolvers were great backup guns. And they're okay backup guns, but I'd really have a smaller semi-auto, saving up for that 2.7. Try to keep these separate because they really are separate concepts. Keep calm and manage to carry on.